Hello. My name is Arlis, and today we're going to be talking about my experience with my first 2 years of high school going to a private Catholic school in the East Coast. Some of these things are subjective, I'm going to say. Again, this is my experience. I'm just reflecting on it and trying to guide you guys in the best direction. I'm going to be offering my input, examples, and then how you guys can kind of apply it for each little section. I want to first share who I am and why you should listen to me anyways. So first of all, in freshman year, I was mostly in all honors classes. I was involved in around 5 clubs, played 3 sports all season round. I gained mostly distinguished honors, some high honors, and I ended the year off in freshman year, I think, with a 4.5 GPA. I also had 105 service hours generally totaled out while also working in after school job. Oh, I didn't mention, I was also, so for my sports, I was in volleyball, basketball, and tennis. In freshman year, I was like the doubles pair partner of the only freshman on the team. So it was just me and my partner, or the only freshman on the whole team, which is kind of cool. Then in sophomore year, this past year, I was involved in, I think, 3 clubs that I was just a member in, and then I was in leadership for 2 clubs, actually founding one of my own clubs as well. I got high honors mostly for sophomore year, just mainly because I was kind of shifting focus, which I will touch on later on. I was in 2 APs. I got really good AP scores on both of those exams. It just came out, actually. Yeah, I was in a lot of leadership. I think I had this year, I think I probably had 110 service hours, maybe a little more than that. I'm not 100% certain. So that is kind of what I am about in high school. I'm very much a science-focused person. So like this past year in sophomore year, I took 2 sciences. I took anatomy, physiology, which is normally a junior and senior course, but I asked to take it in sophomore year, and I did, and I think I got out of it with an A on my final grade. And then I took chemistry 1 honors, which is a requirement for sophomores at my school. And I think I ended that off with an A as well. So I am pretty much a very science STEM focused person, hence why I did 2 sciences in sophomore year and why I'm doing 2 again in junior year. Last year for APs, I took AP Seminar and AP US Government and Politics. That I honestly did not like AP Gov, but I did pretty good on the AP exam and I got through it, so good. I think I have some good experience that I'm able to reflect on in this video, so let's start off. Point number 1 is, if you have summer work, do it as fast as you can. Looking back, I wish I prioritized on just getting it done and not keeping it in the back of my mind, procrastinating on it, thinking I'm gonna do it tomorrow, and just getting it all done as early as possible so I can have my summers actually enjoy and not be thinking, oh wait, I have my summer work to finish. Of course, people all work in different ways, and you might wanna do it every weekend throughout the summer, you might wanna do it every Monday and Wednesday. However you wanna do it, find your method, but from what I have learned, it's always better to make a schedule and stick to it and try to do it as early as you can so that your summer is not spent and wasted on just thinking about school, because summer is for other stuff, obviously. By the way, summer work is basically your first step into high school, seeing what the course load is going to be about, how much work you're going to probably get. It gives you a really big insight into how your high school career is going to be, at least for freshman year. So besides class registration, that is basically your first step, and basically your first step is normally the most impactful. So make it meaningful and make it intentional. This next one works into summer and fall. If you can, join a fall sport at your school. This one is pretty nice because some schools actually offer freshman teams where you can try out for a sport. You might have never played it in your life, but you can try out for the sport and you will most likely make the freshman team, which is where all the freshmen play other freshmen in the school in other schools. It's kind of like a mini league. I joined volleyball my freshman year and I have played it every year up until now. I enjoyed it because it gives you an opportunity to kind of meet people you're going to be in school with. Number 1, you are able to do summer workouts with upperclassmen and underclassmen, so you basically meet the entire interested team in that sport. And then you have team hangouts. I know my team did a lot of team bonding. And then it shows interest to the head and supporting coaches. So when you're there putting the work in during the summer when the gym is hot, you're running those laps, and you're there during the season staying after for the JV and varsity games at the other schools, on away games, even home games. You're showing your commitment to that sport, and that really shows off to the coaches, which kind of allows you to get a little head start to secure your spot in a way for future years to come. Next one is don't make any enemies. There's no need. There is literally no reason to make enemies in high school. Okay, let me bring this point up for you. Think about high school, right? For example, my school is 400 students. If I'm thinking about it, there'll probably only be around 10 people that I will know 5 years after high school. Like, think about, once you graduate high school, how many people are you gonna, know still? Not a lot, right? My big thing about this is either forgive and forget or just move on. There's no need to hold on grudges and to spend energy and time thinking about how much you dislike somebody else. There's just no reason to it, and it's a waste of your time. Honestly, I hope in high school you have no time to do that. I know I don't. I just either like somebody or I don't talk to them. I don't hold that. If somebody hurts you, that's their fault, not yours. Move forward and move on. So for extracurriculars, I say join 5 to 10 clubs to start off your freshman year. You might not stay in all these clubs. I know 5 to 10 is a lot of clubs. You will most likely not stay in every single one of these clubs. Like I mentioned earlier, I had around 5 clubs I was in starting off freshman year, and up to now I have 3 to 4 clubs I'm in committedly that I have stayed in this entire 2 past years that I want to stay into my next 2 years. And I'm also joining, I think it's 3 national honor societies, so I'm going to do 6 total general clubs, and then I'm president of French club and founder of a medical club at my school that I run. My point here is join a lot of clubs so that you are able to get immersified in your community. I am not saying stay in these clubs. I'm actually suggesting that you start dropping these clubs around the midway of your freshman year. And I'm saying to drop them in your freshman year because when you are looking to apply to colleges, apply to jobs, apply to internships, they're most likely going to look for consistent loyalty to extracurriculars, classes, and sports. And if you have, let's say you joined 20 clubs in freshman year, and then sophomore year you start off and you only have 5 clubs, they're going to kind of spot that inconsistency, and it's going to throw them off a little bit, and it's going to make you look like you don't really have everything straight aligned. So if you want to kind of add a little cheat code there, I would say join as much clubs as you're interested in. If you see the banner and you're like, okay, that looks kind of fun, put your name on the sheet, join it. You could have had 10, 15, 20 clubs you joined in the beginning of freshman year. Once you have the level of understanding about what the club is about and if you're actually interested into it, then I would say look around December, January, February to drop out and sort of limit the clubs you're in at that point, so that at the end of your freshman year, you have, let's say, out of those 10 you joined at the beginning of the year, now you're down to 5, and then you keep those 5 consistent throughout your entire high school career. With that, I would say kind of set a trial period. So that trial period I'm promoting to you is by midterms, see what clubs you want to drop out of. It could be 3rd quarter, it could be the end of 4th quarter, but have a sort of timeline set up for yourself on when you want to hone in on your skills and you want to limit your availability and your diversification, because it is okay to be well-rounded in a way, but you also want to be somewhat well centralized, and you want to have some sort of conclusivity to yourself. You don't want to be too much everywhere, because then that limits your success in each little skill. So back in freshman year, this is kind of odd, but back in freshman year, I sort of made a timeline for how I wanted each year to look like and what the real priority of each year was. And what I kind of summarized them into was freshman year is exploration, sophomore year is centralization, junior year is definition, and senior year is consistency to bring to your postgraduate life. In your freshman year, you are coming straight out of middle school. Maybe you're starting off to do sports. Maybe you are just starting to go into extracurriculars. Maybe you didn't do anything besides go to school during middle school. That is fine. That is why freshman year is there, to give you time to explore the opportunities at school. That's why I'm saying join clubs, join sports, do hard classes. You are able to go down a level in your classes. I'm not sure if all high schools do this, but my high school, they only ever put your ending class that you finished that year with. So if you started in Honors English 1 and then you hop down to CP English 1, they're only going to see CP English 1, and that's not going to be an issue because, again, it's your freshman year. It's just seeing how you're going to start off. It is important to start off strong, but don't push yourself too far where you're going to set up a failure. It's good to challenge yourself, but it's not good to set yourself up for failure when you know you're not going to be able to be at the capacity you want to be at in a course or in an activity at school. Sophomore year as centralization. I know a lot of people really stress on junior year, but sophomore year is the year right before that, and I think preparation is very important. So if you focus on not falling into the sophomore slump and actually focusing in on what you want to do, what skills, what classes you enjoy in sophomore year, you can offer to colleges and programs that little background of, wait a second, she focused in sophomore year to make junior year better. That's incredible. A lot of times, what colleges and admissions officers see is that people will have been down here, sophomore and freshman year, and then they'll all of a sudden be in 5 clubs, be doing APs out of nowhere, and be doing 5 sports. And that little inconsistency right there, where you're going from level 1 to level 10, is a little bit, it's a throw off because it shows that you might have just been told that junior year is important and then you start to lock in. Whereas if you went level 1 in freshman year, level 5 in sophomore year, level 10 in junior year, it shows that you're able to scale yourself up and measure your success and able to plan and timeline for your future, which is very unique because not a lot of people do that, and because it shows that you care. Junior year as definition. I know for me, this junior year, I'm going to really focus in on defining my interest in science. So sophomore year, for example, I definitely was interested in science. I established that through taking 2 sciences and also creating a medically based club. So I know that I was able to centralize my focus on science and math in sophomore year after exploring, English, math, history, and science in freshman year. I was able to centralize my focus in on science, and now I'm defining that focus in junior year by hopping into APs and doing more research and projects based on sciences and really focusing in on medicine and healthcare in that aspect and in that career field of science. Then senior year is consistency to bring definition to the postgraduate life. I think people really focus in on freshman and junior year, but miss out on senior and sophomore. It's like those 2 S's, I don't know what it is. If you keep your school involvement and your practices consistent from junior year where you defined and from sophomore year when you centralized, your senior year will be a great year because you will still be riding on that great high of doing great and being a good student and a good person in school. And it'll show off because colleges, believe it or not, they will follow you during your senior year. Once you're accepted in fall or winter, they will still follow your grades. And if you start falling down, they will, deny your acceptance. They will just take it back, revoke it. Point 6, fill up your time. This one can be a little bit subjective because I know some people like to have time to take naps and go to sleep early and wake up a little later and do all that. I am somebody who cannot handle being bored. As soon as time slot opens in my life, I fill it up like this. I just need to always be active in something. And so this point is very, very much applicable to me. It might not be applicable to you, but just never having time to be bored is very good for you at some point. Obviously, in moderation, it's good, but if you go too far, it might lead to burnout. But I know for me, just knowing that I am busy the next day just makes me happy, makes me feel like I'm doing something in my life and that I'm being productive. So being able to fill your time in with stuff, be involved in things, and not just be sitting at home doing nothing is very important because it gets you engaged in your environment. It gets you to socialize. It gets you to actually do things for others. And it gets you to be challenged. When you put yourself in situations that are challenging, like doing a club or doing a hard class, doing an AP maybe, or making your own club, making a project outside of school, etc., it challenges you. And most oftentimes, there's a proctor, an advisor, or another group around you that is working with you. And that can provide you with challenges and deadlines to meet, which prepares you for during your entire high school career and also postgraduate. Not a lot of people talk about this, so pay attention. Ready? When you're spending time on things, make sure they are of good value. Okay? This is important. This goes into all the previous points and going into the next point, but make sure that what you're spending your time in is actually important. Make sure you're not wasting your time. Make sure everything you are doing has a purpose, because your life should be intentional, especially high school, because high school is a very big determining factor in how you're going to do later on in life. It's not the only thing you can change, but it is a very important phase in your life that is somewhat defining of what your adult life is going to look like. So be intentional and understand purpose behind everything. Try to not waste time, especially if you're somebody like me who is very involved in different things. You don't want to waste time. You want to be productive and you want to be always doing and being involved. So make sure that what you're doing is making a good turnout of your time and is actually valuable, because time is the one thing we can't turn back, and it has a greater value than money of any currency. This last one has taken me forever to learn, and I'm still learning. Obviously, I'm a human. Focus on your social circle and make sure you pay attention to it. Many people don't pay enough mind to their social circle. You just go with anybody, you talk to anybody, which is fine. It's okay to socialize, but it is very different to be socializing and to have a social circle. Socializing is just talking and bonding with anybody. That it can be with anybody, anytime. It can be like a weak tie, best friend, acquaintance, whatever. But your social circle is that little group of people that you constantly are around, that you're constantly surrounding yourself with, and they will influence you more in life than most things. Some might even say they may influence you more than your family. And when you decide who those people are that you're going to be surrounding yourself with, it is very important to consider what energy and what habits they have. What are they giving to you that's going to influence you? And not many people consider this, especially in high school. People don't think about this at all. But if you think about people and who you're around, you will start to act like them. And it is up to you to decide who is going to be influencing you in your life, especially during high school. I know in freshman year for me, I had so many different social circles I was in, and I was just everywhere. And it was kind of uncomfortable because I was just giving my time to anybody. I was not spending my time wisely. I would just go to anybody around me. And this year I have gotten so much more comfortable with having a centralized circle of just like 2 to 3 people that I hang out with consistently. And if they're not around me at the time, like let's say I'm in lunch and they don't have the same lunch period as me, I'm okay with sitting alone. I don't know why, but society has put a sort of stigma against being alone. And I don't understand why, because being alone is where most ideas spark. You are able to sort of focus on your own brain and think better in a way when you are alone. I know for me, when I'm walking my dog or I'm at the gym alone, I get the biggest ideas. Like they all go into my voice memos app, and I have a bunch of voice memos. They're just me thinking of ideas, and I just put them in my notes app, my voice memos, and I just track them. And I noticed that every time I have a big idea, I'm alone. Because when you're alone, you're able to think with yourself without any external input to your brain. And it's just beautiful how your brain can work when you are alone. So try to make your social circle important, make it valuable, right? Make it of good and loyal friends, and don't be afraid to be alone. If your social circle is not there with you, don't just, act like, oh, I don't want to be a loser and sit alone. No, go sit alone. Go make ideas. Go be yourself, because who you're around matters so much, and it is better to be alone than be with people who make you feel alone. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know high school is a very odd time for some people and a great time for others. It is a very, very, very diverse experience that you can have literally anything happen to you in high school. But I hope your high school career is amazing, or was amazing if you already did it. Thank you again for watching, and have a great rest of your day.